This is Adventurer for Life. I'm Joel. We're going to spend the next several weeks talking about accessories for the Grenadier. So if you look, and obviously you compare this against the prior videos you've seen of my Grenadier, you notice there's a difference. And so what we're going to do today is just talk about the major accessories that were added to the vehicle. Later I'm going to talk about the dealership and how they installed them and whatnot, and what that experience was like, and then also the other ancillary accessories that I got. Plan on getting a rooftop tent in the next few weeks, and so I think I'll be making a video about that not too long, and some other accessories. So I want you to see how this thing ends up getting outfitted. So the first thing you'll notice is there is, well, let's do something easy, the checker plate. So I like the look of the checker plate, but I also saw in one of the videos that Ineos put out that adds, I think they said, like a roughly 300-pound capacity for putting stuff on the fenders, weight on the fenders, whatnot. And so I'm going to jump up there real quick. I've already done it, but and so you'll see that, you know, with my cool red tennis shoes, I'm standing on the checker plate, and it's supporting my weight just fine. There's no issues. And so I, you know, mostly bought it for the look. Also, I didn't want to scratch the fender if I put something up there, but it definitely will allow you to support some additional weight. So that's a great thing. The cargo carrier, roof rack, whatever you want to call it. First, this thing is rock solid. I mean, it is something else. Again, the static weight limit is around a 900-pound level, and I'm going to get up there in a second. The dynamic, so in motion, weight limit, I think is maybe 250, somewhere in that range. And the tent that I'm planning on putting up there is maybe 160 pounds, something like that, so I don't think I'll have any difficulties whatsoever. But it is the Rhino Rack Pioneer. So you see Rhino Rack right there, and this is the Pioneer model. And so I'm going to climb up there real quick, one-handed. And they have grab handles. I may end up putting one up there. This thing is 100 inches long and about 62, I believe, inches wide. This is the first one I've had like this, and so we're going to talk more about this later. But you know, it's got the ability to install all kinds of stuff up here, including my rooftop tent, and so we'll get to that. But it does have the capacity to, you know, you can walk on it. So I mean, you see the car kind of moving side to side. Yeah, I didn't know I could do that. Anyway, move the car side to side, but this thing's got plenty of weight carrying, load bearing capacity. But I'm very pleased with this rack, the cargo rack. You know, Rhino Rack obviously is one of the leaders in this field, and you know, again, it's got 4 clips on each side, 4 things that handle on to the rail on the side, and I think it's just as rock solid as any roof rack you're going to find is. Let's go back here while I'm back here, and I got the table. Lots of people wanted this table. You know, what exactly am I going to use it for? Who knows? But you know, you got these little clips here on the side. We'll see if I can do this one-handed. Yeah, and you know, it is very, very solid. I had not noticed this before either, but you can turn these. Let's do it. It's a little bit hard to hook them back one-handed, but you know, you got a little space there to put some stuff too if you want to. That was already there, obviously, but try to get this clipped one. There you go. It's a little, you got to really push it in. Anyway, this is nice and solid. Will hold a lot. I don't know what the weight capacity is, but I'm certainly glad I got it. So that was another accessory that was added. We're not going to talk about, you know, obviously I got a spare tire, and that came with the vehicle. I bought another one because I wanted to, and we'll we'll talk more about that in a follow-on video. I also got the front light bar. It's pretty cool. You see it's got a cover on it here, and I'm going to pull that cover off, and that is to protect the light bar when you are, on the highway or whatever. So you can just, and it's a little bit, I'm not going to say hard, but you got to pull a little bit on it, and there you see the light. I'm not going to pull this all the way off. I have. It's not a big deal. But that's a nice feature where they added that cover. So I'm going to start the vehicle real quick. For the light bar, they set it up to be exterior, I guess, number 2. So I'm going to flick that switch and quickly go out here and show you that the light is on. Again, I'm not going to take that cover all the way off, but you got light. And I've done this in the dark, and it is plenty bright. I think it's really going to be a nice light. The Ineos people at Regal told me to make sure and not leave the light on too long with the cover on, because the light is bright enough, and thus hot enough, that it will melt the thing or whatever. So anyway, this is not too long of a video, but I didn't want to try to cram everything in at one time. So those are the 5, I'll say, big accessories that I added: the checker plate, the cargo rack, the light on the front of the cargo rack, the table, that's only 4, the table in the back, and it seemed like there was one other thing that I've now forgotten, or maybe I'm a bad counter. It's time for another addendum. I said that I had forgotten something, and then I remembered it after I walked around the vehicle. I got the receiver installed, and I put the hitch on there while I was getting the accessories installed. I mentioned this in a prior video, that they told me that they had gotten the problems corrected, whatever they were, that caused them to take the hitch receivers off of the Grenadiers when they were first delivered. Mine is on there. As you can see, I've installed the hitch that I bought along with it. Not exactly sure what those, there obviously is some other kind of mounting plate that has 6 holes that you use, but I just installed it with, your standard pin to hold it in place, and I've got a locking one. While we're down here, 2 things. One, the light switch where you plug your trailers in is there. It is a 6-pin or 6 connector unit. I'm going to try to take this off with one hand. I've got my 4-prong adapter on there. There you have it. Hopefully I'm not too close, but it was a little bit snug because it was the first time I used it, but I got the 4-prong attachment or converter on there. I saw this while I was down there, and I'd seen that before and started wondering what in the world that is. It is a NATO plug. If you bought the removable rear winch, there are connectors in there to be able to power the removable rear winch. Anyway, so when it comes to accessories, again, I had the cargo carrier installed, the checker plate, the light bar, the table on the back door, and the hitch. So there were 5 things all together. Okay, see you next week.